Good morning, students. Welcome to another lecture on microprocessors and microcontrollers. In this lecture, we are going to deal about the I/O ports of MSP 430. As in the previous session, I have discussed about the block diagram of MSP 430, in which we have seen that we have four ports: port A, port B, port C, and port D. And we are using those ports as an I/O ports. And in this chapter, the main details is about explanation of all the blocks which were given in the previous chapter, that is blocks which are present in MSP 430. So here coming to the I/O ports, so MSP, as here we can see port A, port B, port C, and port D. These are I/O ports. So here port A, in sense we are adding two ports, that is port 1 and port 2. So we are combining this port 1 and port 2. This is port 1 is of 8 bits and port 2 is of 8 bits, and we are combining these two 8 bits and we are forming a one 16-bit port. So here in the same sense we have 8 ports here. In some of the MSP 430 5x6 devices have up to 12 digital I/O ports. Here we have only 8 digital I/O ports. In some families of MSP 430 there are 12 digital I/O ports from P1 to P11 and PJ, and most of the ports have 8 I/O pins, and some of the ports have less than 8 I/O pins, and each and every I/O pin is individually configured as either as an input or output, where input means we are writing data into the device and output means we are reading data from the other devices, and all ports have individually configurable with either pull up or pull down resistor in order to drive the microcontroller. And port 1 and port 2 have these two also have an external quality that it is having an interrupt capabilities, which each and every bit in port 1 and port 2 are individually enabled. That means we are making it on to configure to provide an interrupt signals at the rising edge or falling edge of an input signal. So even though either at rising edge or falling edge, we are allowing an interrupt to come through port 1 and port 2, and each individual ports can be accessed as either byte or word. That means if we are using a 16-bit, it will become or it will add as a port A. Suppose if you are writing the data in only 8 bits, upper 8 bits, then the lower 8 bit will remain constant or ideal. If you are writing data at 4 bits, lower 8 bits, then the higher byte will be constant, and each port is assigned with several 8-bit registers that controls the functions of pins and provide an information on their current status. Based on the status, they are going to provide the information, and some of the ports pins are used. Suppose for example coming here SEL, PX select. SEL means PX, SEL in sense selection. Here PX refers which port, that means port X select. Suppose if port select port, suppose 0, port 0 select, its value is 0, then we are accessing digital I/O or digital input and output, and for port value is 1, then we are going for an alternate function. As we have seen that some of the ports, most of the ports are be used as I/O, or some ports having some alternate functions. So next one is port direction. If the value is 0, that means this pin value is 0, then the system is accepting or giving input, is acting as an input device. If its value is 1, it acts as an output device. So you see here PX in, port in, it reads the voltage levels on the input pins. Whatever the keys we are pressing, or whatever the data is available, or whatever application we are going to process, this will reads the voltage levels of the input pin, and this will sends the value to the driven to be driven to each pin. So port out means it is sending the value to each given output. Here port in means it is taking the value, or it is giving the value to each and every pins. See here, port resistor enable. So each and every port contains of pull up and pull down resistors. Here if the port resistor enable value is 1, then it enables pull up or pull down resistors in order to perform the task, and if its value is 0, it will disable the registers. See here, next one is port interrupt enable. That means even though we have an external interrupts, that means here we have interrupts. So if whenever we are dealing with the external channels, the interrupts may be occur. So whenever we are selecting an interrupt, this pin should be interrupt pin must be enabled to accept the interrupts, and it disables when the pin value is 0. Interrupt edge selection. Suppose if an interrupt is going to occur, or if the interrupt takes place during the falling edge, then this pin value will becomes 1, or it is in a rising edge, then this pin value becomes 0. So coming to the next one, port interrupt flag. This flag is set whenever the interrupt is detected on a particular pin. That means this flag will be equal to 1 whenever an interrupt is detected on a particular pin. Based on some pin, at some pins, if the interrupt is passing through those pins, then this interrupt flag will be enabled. So see here, and coming to LED interfacing, and these are the two standard ways of connecting an LED. And here a series resistor is used, which may be varies from 220 ohms to 1 kilo ohm. This resistor is used in order to limit the currents through the LED. So here we have a active high and active low. So here this, whenever the output from the microcontroller pin is high, then this LED will be in on position, and whenever the microcontroller output value is low, then this LED will be in off position. So typically we go for the second one, because it is in a sinking current than a sourcing current. Will be in a sinking current than a sourcing current. So better we will go for this one in all the aspects. And in order to make the program to carry out the following operation, we need to configure the microcontroller. That means we need to make the microcontroller in order to accept the input value, or the processor, or the operation which has to be done by the microprocessor. So we need to configure this one, and also we need to set a relevant output pin or relevant output port which should be connected to resistor and the diode. So here we are using port 2, and we need to make this microcontroller in as busy as that. It should not be in a empty, and it should be in an infinite and empty loop should be organized, or should be kept, so that it should not take much more time to reduce or to perform the task. So coming to the pull up and pull down resistor, these resistors are often used in interfacing the switch or some other input devices to a microcontroller. And okay, so this is circuit diagram of that one. Here this pull up and pull down resistors are used to ensure that microcontroller to select an expected logic levels from the external devices, or disconnected to a high impedance. That means if we are disconnecting an external device, that means whenever we are connecting this to an external device, we have some values, that means either 0 or 1. But whenever we are disconnecting it, then the pin will be remain in idle position and it will be in a dilemma. That means if what type of state it is it in. That means if you are disconnecting, it doesn't mean that if you are disconnecting means its value is a logic 0, and that means okay, that means giving an input, connecting an device to the port, transmitting either 0 or 1 is different. If we are disconnecting the external device, then it will be in an ideal state or it will be in a floating state. So here this dilemma will be, or this dilemma or this floating state will be diagnosed by using an pull-up resistor. So this a microcontroller might be unpredictably interrupt the input value as either 0 or 1. So this pull-up resistor is used to solve this dilemma. That means after disconnecting with external device, then this the pin value may be 0 or 1. That means we are not deciding that it is a 0 or 1. That in this dilemma, this pull-up resistor is used to solve the dilemma for a microcontroller by pulling down the value to a logic high state. So here we are giving it to a logic high state. If there won't be a pull-up resistor, the microcontroller unit will be in a floating stage when the switch is open. So here, when the switch is open, then this will be in a dilemma. So the microcontroller will not have any value. So in order to make that one, this pull-up transistor will give an high value. So vice versa for the pull-down resistor. Here see that suppose if there is no input value, that means either 0 or 1 is not connected to the microcontroller unit, then here this pull-up resistor, it gives the high value to the microcontroller. See here, we are connecting it to port 2 pin number 1. Here it is providing a plus 3 volt, that means it is giving a logic 1 here, and here we are disconnecting that one. Okay, so this is about the pull-up and pull-down resistors, and in the next class we are going to discuss about the interrupts of it, what is an interrupt and how it is going to how it will be executed and how it is going to do the functionality in the MSP 430. Thank you.